not only do you want to see the school that you played for get better and better, but you want to see the other schools in the conference and the arena, I guess, get better and get better athletes and do better. And especially, even if you're still playing, you want to see other teams get better as the years go on. That way your undefeated season or 9-1 season looks a lot better than when you're beating people by just 1 or 2 touchdowns instead of having an undefeated season and you beat everybody by 50 points. You know, that doesn't really look that impressive.
I know we're excited because it's another game we get to play. Yeah. And this is our first time getting to play in the postseason whatsoever. So.
Right. Welcome into Extreme Talk, everyone. My name is James Shannon. I want to thank you so much for listening and so much for checking out our YouTube channel. Here you can find all of our shows, our highlight films that we do every week. During the off season, you'll be able to find the game broadcasts, but we've got a very special edition of Extreme Radio coming up this Sunday. I'll talk about that in just a second. This is the 9th episode of Extreme Talk. There's going to be 10. We didn't plan it that way, but it just so happens. The 10th episode of Extreme Talk will be 2 weeks from this past Tuesday. It's going to be on November 6th, and it's going to be the mock draft for the 2018 Extreme All-Star Game, which is coming up 2 weeks. Well, the event starts 2 weeks from today. It's November the 10th. The weekend is November 8th through the 10th. Guys will come up and get drafted on Thursday afternoon, or Thursday around noon. And so on Tuesday night, like we have for the last 2 years, myself and Isaiah Austin, we will sit down and we will do a mock draft. And it's kind of a mock draft / announcement of who all's going to the All-Star Game. So a lot of guys know if there's guys on other teams or on their own team, or if you've gotten a chance to play somebody in conversation, you've mentioned, hey, I'm going to the All-Star Game, hey, I'm going to the All-Star Game. So that will be the official announcement, hey, here's all who's going to the All-Star Game. So really, really excited about that. You don't want to miss it. You also are not going to want to miss this Sunday's episode of Extreme Radio. And I know I mentioned it a second ago. Speaking of the All-Star Game, this Sunday on the show, we will be doing the coin toss that will determine who will have the number 1 overall pick in the draft. We will announce the team names. They are confirmed, but I'm not going to leak it right now. We will hopefully announce the coaches if we can get everything squared away. So we're going to have some big announcements for the All-Star Game, but it's going to be great. This is the 3rd year doing it, and it's always been a blast. But really, really looking forward to it. The postseason is here, like I said. But before we get there, I've wanted to have a conversation about this topic and with these gentlemen for a while now, and it finally came true. So hope you enjoy this interview, and let's go. All right, everyone, I'm very excited to have my guest this week. I'm talking to Jalen Kramm. He was the quarterback up at Christian Community School from 2009 to 2012. And, well, he played from 2008 to 2012, but 2009 to 2012. And Tucker Brown, he was the quarterback up at Bowling Green Christian from 2015 to 2016, helped get the program started. Tucker played in our first All-Star game. Jalen is a one-time state champion and two-time, technically three-time national champion. But, guys, thanks for coming in. Thanks for taking time out. I'll start with you, Jalen. How did you start playing quarterback, and is there a different position that you would have switched to? Like, if you could go back and redo it.
Like, how did I end up starting at quarterback?
Yeah, how did you end up playing quarterback? Like,
that's just the position they told me I was going to play. So, like, when I got there in 8th grade, I might have been able to throw the ball 40 yards max, but I just started practicing at quarterback. That's pretty much it. Quarterback and receiver, and then a little bit on defense as DB. But yeah, as soon as I got there, that was.
Would you have rather done a different position though?
No, not at CCS. No way. I enjoyed playing quarterback. If I had to play another position at all, if we had another really good quarterback, probably a receiver. But yeah, I enjoyed quarterback a lot.
So you're the kind of guy, like, if y'all didn't have a good quarterback, you'd be like, all right, I got to take a shot at this. Try to jump in there and see how good see if you could do a little bit better.
I guess so. I don't know how that. I don't know, because the way it happened was I was just practicing at quarterback, and then sophomore year came around, and the guy that would have been a senior transferred schools, so I just got thrown in there.
Yeah.
And played it for 3 years.
Who was that? You remember?
Blake Dennis.
Oh, that's right. That's right. He went to Aaron Academy, didn't he?
No, he went to Station Camp.
Oh, okay. I thought he pulled a Josh Cruz.
Nah.
How'd you get started with quarterback?
Whenever a team started, I decided I wanted to play quarterback just because you get to touch the ball every play.
Right.
And you pretty much run everything.
You didn't think about how, like, you might get hit every single play?
Well, that's the beautiful thing about quarterback is you can slide, and people don't care. So.
Would you play it, like, if you go back, would you do a different position?
Nope.
Okay. That's just asking. Which one is more important? I'll start with Tucker. A good running back or a good receiver? I know you've had both, but
yeah, I'd probably say a good running back because you can utilize them in the passing game, or if like say you're up late and you need to run the clock, I'd rather have a good running back and don't have to risk airing it out.
What if your running back can't catch, and like he's strictly just a bruiser, like well, John Stock can catch.
Ethan Hoffman.
Like I don't know.
Ethan Hoffman.
No, he could catch.
No.
Ethan, if you hear this, we love you. I actually talked to him the other night after
Especially
the CCS
once
game.
He started wearing that neck roll. His neck movement was just no way.
He wasn't wearing that. He wasn't wearing that my senior year, was he? In 11,
yeah.
Was he?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
The last year he was at CCS. Our junior year, your senior year, yeah.
So you say a good running back.
Yep.
You running back or wide receiver?
I don't know. A lot of times, I guess it depends on if your quarterback has legs or not. But I guess I never had to make that choice. I mean, when I was playing, we of course Cole Crispin was running back a lot when I was there. So
yeah.
Junior year when I was starting, and senior year I had him both years. And Channing was there my junior year, and he could catch just fine. Cole could catch, and went on to play receiver in college. So I don't know, but I guess if your quarterback doesn't have an arm, then yeah, you better have a running back. But if your quarterback can throw and has legs, then you need receivers. So I guess it just depends on the team and what style of offense you run. But having a good running back is pretty important. Like it's
right.
That's a huge deal. Like he was saying, if you can't run the ball, then your pass game doesn't open up because they just sit heavy in the secondary. And if you can't throw, then they just stack the box. So
right.
I mean, they're both pretty important. So I don't know which one but coming from a quarterback perspective, I'd rather have a couple great receivers.
Okay.
Because that'll pump your stats up as a QB.
And that's what that's what looks good. So this year, I've noticed, especially this year, and I'm sure it's happened before, but I've noticed a lot of quarterbacks not playing defense. They're strictly in their own offense. And back when we played a lot, and a little bit when you played, there were a lot of both two-way. You played both ways. Devin Humphreys played both ways. Mm-hmm. David Irons from Aaron Academy played both ways. I mean, there's Caleb Hollis from Classical played both ways. But nowadays you got guys like CCS, Tiny, Nathaniel Riley. I've noticed the quarterback from Webb. What other There's a couple other quarterbacks that just play offense, like defense, they're all. If you were playing, like back when you're playing, would you rather just stayed at quarterback, or would you rather play both sides?
Oh no, I would have died if I had to stay on the sidelines for defense. I mean, but I like playing defense. I love playing defense. I think senior year I don't know how many tackles I had, but I know I was the second leading tackler on the team. So I mean, I love playing D.
If I was prepared, I would have pulled that up. But
no, it's all right. It doesn't really matter the number. I just know I was the second leading tackler on the team. And some of those tackles were on special teams too. Because
right.
I played I think everything except for punt and kickoff. Or no. I was on for punt. It just depended, I guess, on the set. But I guess like as far as them not playing defense, if you have enough athletes and you don't need them to play D, then why risk him getting injured? You know what I mean? Because there was a couple games I didn't, especially senior year, I separated my shoulder on senior night, so I didn't play defense for like 2 or 3 games. But then I got healed and had to come back in. But I think that was just because, and not to act like I was irreplaceable, but that year our set and how we were running things, I needed to be on the field.
Because that's why I asked, like, if you've got a quarterback who really wants to play defense, but I don't want to say he's injury prone, but like there's a good chance he could get hurt.
Yeah,
it's tough. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, keep him off the field, especially if you got to have him on offense. That's a big deal too. If you don't have a backup QB that can come in and run things,
right, then
you kind of got to protect the QB.
Well, and the crazy thing is both. I know you know about CCS. You got like Micah Jones there, the backup, but then like Webb, they've got a good backup quarterback. Now, both their quarterbacks are freshmen, but one freshman's better than the other. But like they've got a good backup quarterback, but they're still holding them back. So I don't know. What about you?
Like he said, I think it depends how good your backup quarterback is, just in case they do get hurt. And I think it really depends what you need on defense as well. Like I know this year with BGCA, we can't afford to have Tanner not playing defense.
Right.
Just because we're not a very deep team. So
yeah.
Is it a size thing whether or not your quarterback plays linebacker or like DB? Or is it just when you would prefer?
I was 165 in high school.
Yeah.
And as far as this league goes, size isn't really as important. And, I mean, you know that too. So I was 165 playing outside linebacker. But I also wasn't afraid to stick my head in places and hit or get hit or bump up against linemen. I mean, I just wasn't scared. So that has a lot to do with it too. But as far as like so let's say you do have a good backup QB, but he's also starting at another position. You pull him from that position. Now, who's going to replace him?
Right. Well, and that's the thing, too.
As far as CCS goes, you pull Mike out from receiver, and he's definitely leading. I don't know how he's doing as far as the whole league, but he's leading CCS in receptions and yards and touchdowns.
I mean, he's up there. Who's
he going to throw to if he moves to QB? You know what I'm saying? So that just changed it. Pulling somebody from another starting position to put him at QB changes your whole team now.
Well, and the thing is, too, is, let's say you got your quarterback playing both ways and he gets hurt. Well, then you lose your quarterback and you lose a linebacker or something, and you got to replace both. So, I mean, I don't know. I would think, just play quarterback, and that way if he gets hurt, you only lose one position. But
and that's true. But, I mean, if he's a good athlete, man, put him on the field. I mean, if you got to have him, put him on the field. There's a lot of guys playing on Saturdays now on TV, D1 quarterbacks that when they talk about their history, what they played in high school, they played both sides. They played quarterback and a safety. Most of the time you got quarterbacks playing safety.
I think it's a majority of guys probably played both ways in high school.
Yeah.
So, Unless you came from a massive high school.
Right.
You had to play both ways.
But even at like CPA, when Branson was playing at Heritage, when they go play CPA, their QB would come on and play safety a lot. So, I mean, if you got good athletes, man, leave them on the field, do what you got to do to win.
His senior year was, 15? I think it was 15.
16. He's 16. 3 years behind me, so yeah.
I was up there. I watched some CPA games. I think I watched the one against Heritage.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did, because Coach Tommy was up there. Both teams have done pretty good so far. You're Bowling Green this year. You got 6 wins, 7 if you win on Saturday. Mm-hmm. So that's pretty cool. And then you guys, or CCS, not you guys, but CCS, back-to-back unbeaten regular seasons and haven't lost a game at home. Haven't lost a game in regular season since 2016. I think they lost the last game of the year, but like even then they only had like 2 or 3 losses. So how cool is it to see? Because there's a lot of guys that like if you're from like Hendersonville or Pleasant View or something, your football program just shut down.
Yeah.
So how cool is it to see like the school that you played at do really well? No,
it's awesome, man. And, a lot of these guys now, because I guess for a while after I graduated, the program kind of tanked. And that wasn't just because all of us seniors that graduated, but there was also a lot of 8th graders and 9th graders that were really good athletes coming up that went to other schools. I think there was like 7 or 8 of them. So they just
it was like a mass exodus.
Yeah. But yeah, it's great to see that. It's great to see that. And then you hear them talking about, we would have beat that 2012 team. It's like, I mean, sure, probably. I mean, y'all are good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't care. Yeah. I mean, that argument is pointless in my opinion because you'll never ever know. You know what I'm saying?
I think some of the time too that it's just because they haven't watched tape. I mean, if they go back and watch, did you ever have a highlight tape made?
Nah.
If you go back and like watch Channing or Cole's highlight tape, it's like, okay, there's some dudes that are that good, but
They definitely have a good team. I've seen them play, and they got a very solid team. Last year when Colton was there, and even this year, I think something that they lack a little bit though is maybe just drive. I mean, the games that I've seen this year, it seems like they're just lax because they either just think they're going to win, so they go out and play lackadaisical, or I don't know what it is. But back when I was playing, of course, we did lose a game. We weren't. I guess you couldn't say we were undefeated. These last two teams could say they're undefeated regular season.
Yeah.
But then they lost state, so who cares, right? We were state champions,
right.
but we lost the regular season.
Well, they
game.
lost state last year. Well, they lost 3 years ago too. But
yeah,
we'll see how they do this year.
But we did lose the regular season game at home, so that stunk. We lost by 4 points.
Yeah, I remember.
Really about by a half an inch. We lost that game. But,
I remember.
Yeah, dude, they're great. They're a really good team. They've got a lot of coaches now, so they're focusing on coaching just positions, which is something we didn't have back then.
Right.
I guess that they lack anything now. I just feel like the teams back then we were almost brothers. You know, we're tight, and I don't see that now. But yeah. As far as to see them do good, I mean, why would you want to see your
I'm not saying you would want to.
You
I'm just saying
see them do good, and you want them to be better than your team.
Right.
I hope they're better than us, right? They got 10 coaches.
Well,
we had 2 back then.
I'm just saying. I still haven't seen anybody completely hurdle somebody standing up. So until I see that, I don't know. By the way, if you don't know what I'm talking about, go to our YouTube, go to playlist, old highlights. There's a clip of Cole Chrisman completely hurdling a dude from McLean.
Yeah.
He's standing up, and the picture is like the opening picture of Cole's highlight film, but he's completely standing up, and he hurdled him.
And it wasn't like he was
on the sideline, and then he landed in bounds.
The kid was about 5'11",
kid was about
6 foot tall.
Yeah, 6 foot. Like, it wasn't a small kid. I still felt
Cole's
bad.
a talented guy, man. And back then, I mean, I like to think I was a talented athlete. Yeah, sure, obviously, but I haven't played with anybody really that's even just being around other athletes. Cole's just a talented guy, man. Yeah. He's just a crazy athletic ability, and he's scrawny, but the kid could play. So yeah.
Well, he came down and he landed inbounds and then took off.
Yeah, it was a touchdown.
But, yeah,
it was a touchdown.
Yeah.
It was a punt return.
I still felt bad for McLean after that.
Yeah, it was
like their homecoming.
Mm-hmm.
It was their homecoming. I think won like 48-0 or something like that. It was bad. What about you? Like, I know you were there like at the very beginning, and it's still only been like 2 years since you've left. But like to see them, like last year they had more wins than they had your senior year, and then this year they're going to beat that. Like they're consistently getting better.
Yeah.
So is that cool? I mean, it has to be.
Yeah, it's cool, and it's cool being a part of it. Because I'm still with the team, so of course I want them to do well. Son Tanner lets me hear about it, that he had more wins than me, but so that's a little bit annoying. But
right,
but,
is it weird, like, because you're assistant? Is it weird coaching with guys that you played, like right out the gate?
It was a little bit weird last year, but now that I'm more out of it, it's not as odd, and there's not as many players I played with.
Right.
There may be 4 guys that I played with on the team.
I think they're all seniors this year.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I'll add this, and I'm sure you probably agree with this, but not only do you want to see the school that you played for get better and better, but you want to see the other schools in the conference and the 8-man arena, I guess, get better and get better athletes and do better. And especially even if you're still playing, you want to see other teams get better as the years go on. That way your undefeated season or 9-1 season looks a lot better than when you're beating people by just 1 or 2 touchdowns instead of having an undefeated season and you beat everybody by 50 points. That doesn't really look that impressive. But when all the teams in the conference are doing good and you're still at the top, it just makes your program look a lot better.
Like this year, when you look at it, there's a couple teams that struggled that got like 0 to 2 wins, and then you had a bunch of teams from like 3 to 6 wins, and then you had a couple teams on top.
Yeah.
Like it's cool to say, okay, well, they're 5-4, but they're a good 5-4 team.
Right.
They just happen to play the 3 teams on top. That's kind of like you guys, like the Heat. If the Heat got 5 losses, and they got a loss to Swanee, which was pretty crazy, but they had a loss to Lighthouse that they could have won. But like they played Lancaster, who's got 1 loss, Webb, who's unbeaten, and CCS, who's unbeaten. So it's like, well, I mean, it's a good 5-5 team.
But you want to see everybody across the conference get better as the years go. Especially when how long has y'all's team been around?
This is the 4th year.
Yeah. 2015 is when they started.
Yeah. And when you got teams that are closing down their football programs, you definitely want to see other people that are just starting to get better and better every year.
Right. It's still crazy that those two closed down, but what was y'all's favorite place to play? Other than your home. I should have added that. Other than your home field.
Aaron Academy. I love beating Aaron Academy at Aaron Academy, so yeah.
I was about to say, if you said Curry Ingram, everyone said Curry Ingram. I know it's where
I didn't like the field at all.
It's a bad field. Aaron played a couple different places. Like, did you like the Portland one or the Goodlettsville one?
Wherever they were playing, as long as we beat them, it didn't matter. I just love beating Aaron Academy.
Just them. I got you. What you?
I like playing at CCS. Got a nice field.
We did. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, that's like the only school I've seen that has somewhat of a student section too.
Right.
So, and, they said overall nice facilities.
Yeah,
I enjoy playing.
They used to mow that field every other day when I was in high school.
I think they still do.
So there's a lot of money in that field. But did you mean like not necessarily which team do we like playing, but what?
No, like a place to play. Right. Like what field you like going to? Because you played at a couple.
Well, we played at Webb one time when I was in high school because we only started playing them my junior year, and we played them at Webb my senior year, and they have a very nice facility.
Yeah, Webb's
of course,
pretty
it's
nice.
a long drive, but
right.
Yeah, they had a sweet field.
Yeah, Webb's got locker rooms.
Yeah,
something CCS doesn't.
Nice.
Yeah, I think them and Swanee are really the only ones. Well, Riverside's got it's like a weight room. That you go change, But
you need money for that, and those schools got a lot of money. So.
Yeah. Yep. They'll get there. Speaking of the CCS field, I mentioned Tim Pettit announced Sunday that the championship is going to be at CCS this year. First time ever at 80 by 40. And I know a lot of coaches talked, we don't care that it's 80, it's the 40 that kills us.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. But both of y'all's home fields were 80 by 40. And then you played on bigger fields. Like, what are your thoughts on the two field sizes and having the championship on an 80 by 40, which is traditionally what 8-man is technically. I mean, if you go like the Midwest,
what do you think?
That's what it is. What do you think, Tucker?
I mean, for BGCA, we prefer the wider field just because we're more spread out. But I think the 80 by 40 makes it feel almost more like an 11-man game, just because the spacing's more tight and it's not a shootout every game.
Gives you more space for the swinging game, huh?
Yeah.
I saw a crazy version of that. Like the center was like on the right hash, quarterback was on the left hash, and like the center turned around and like tossed it to the quarterback.
Yeah. Iowa, was it?
Shoot.
Iowa did that a couple weeks ago.
It was a college game from the last couple weeks.
Yeah.
And they didn't throw it. They like handed off to the running back and he had a crazy run. But no. Anyways, sorry.
Yeah.
Rabbit trail.
This is going to sound weird, but I didn't really notice that much when we were on a bigger field. I always wish that CCS had a 100-yard field because as far as stats go, when you get a breakaway and let's say it's a 30-yard touchdown. So a 30-yard touchdown is a 30-yard touchdown, right? But when you're running it from the midfield on our or from the 30-yard line on our field and you get a 30-yard touchdown, if you're on the 40 on another, it's a 40, especially if you break away and you're just running the last 10 yards wide open, right? That would have
or it's like confusing, like if you get an interception like at the 20 on a 80 by 40 and you run it back, it's only technically a 60, touchdown. But it's instead of 80.
Yeah, so it's like, the same thing when you're running offense. And who knows? I mean, obviously stats would have been a little higher for CCS kids because we played games at home on an 80-yard field. But when both teams are playing on the field, it doesn't really matter. I guess, I mean, it seemed like we beat teams just as handedly on our field as we did when we played them again on a 100-yard field.
Except for classical.
Yeah.
We don't talk about that.
Well, we never beat them when they had a good team, and then my senior year we beat them by 60 points. So I never really got to feel good about beating Classical.
I don't think Classical's beat CCS since then.
Yeah.
So it's kind of.
But as far as it goes, I guess I like playing on a 100-yard field better, just because as far as stats go, you have a chance to get more yards.
You got to think.
I definitely like playing on the 80-yard field at CCS just because, like Tucker was saying, it's a good field.
You got to think though, like if CCS makes it to the championship, then, or anytime CCS plays at home, like they've got somewhat of an advantage because they're used to it from playing at home. So, I mean, I guess people could say that, but, I mean, still, if you talk to your average coach, he's going to be like, well, football's football, and we just got to
from experience, there wasn't a lot of difference. Like, we never talked about a different game plan when we went to play on a 100-yard field. Never heard about, you make friends with players on other teams as you keep playing each other year to year, and nobody ever said anything about hated to play on our field. So,
if anything, I think the field quality made up for it.
Yeah.
Like Tucker was saying, like, it's really nice.
But I never heard anybody fussing about, oh, gosh, the sideline sneak up on me so bad because it's skinnier. You know what I'm saying? So I don't really know if that's a problem or not. I haven't been around enough to hear, and I'd be interested to hear what the debate on it is.
They might have complained about that fence, though.
One thing I do like is so this year I'm in charge of the special teams with BGCA, and I do like playing on the 80-yard field because we just kick it out of the end zone.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
I don't have to worry about it.
Yeah. So. Riley can do that pretty good.
Yeah.
He's pretty good. You guys are going to play in the bowl game Saturday, and it's tough because a lot of people are like, we really don't care. It's a game, but you don't get anything from it. And I've advocated for a couple years now for a 16 playoff because technically that puts you guys in the playoff. It would have put Riverside in the playoff too, and then if you want to have a bowl game, whatever, move it down. But I guess it's different if you play basketball too, because I don't know, like, if you want to, because you play basketball too. Like, I don't know how much you want to hurry up and get to basketball, but like, how do you guys feel about playing in a bowl game? With it just being the one game, you really don't get anything from it, as opposed to making the season a week longer and doing a 16 playoff and like extending the playoffs.
How many teams are in the playoffs now? Because
now it's 4. It's always been 4.
Oh, okay.
They did like the bowl game came from they had like Division II playoffs and Division II championship, and it was for like the teams that didn't do as good. But then they got rid of the playoffs and just had the game between the 3 seeds. But it's still just a 4. But like Bowling Green, who's 6-3, isn't going to get in the playoffs at 6-3, and then
there's 4 teams better than 6-3.
Yeah.
That's good.
Well, they go by division record. So 6-3 overall, but in division, I think 2-3. I think y'all beat South Haven. You beat Sacred Heart. Yeah, because then you lost to CCS, Lighthouse, and Heat.
Yep.
So 2-3, and the Heat are 3-2. I think. Yeah, 3-2.
Yep.
I mean, if you're gonna go by division, then you got to take the best 2 out of the division. But go to a 16 playoff and give both the 1 seeds a bye.
How do you feel about teammates like that are big into basketball? Like, even if you play basketball, you still might not be big into it. You might just do it for the free time. But like guys that are big into basketball on your team that want to hurry up and get to basksketball, like, would you let them go off the team and go practice?
Nobody does that.
Okay.
Nobody.
I was just throwing it out there.
Even in public schools, I've heard of people. For example, Corn Elder. You know that name? Okay, yeah. Mm-hmm. So he was Mr. Football and Mr. Basketball in Tennessee. He played at
Innsworth, I think.
Yes, yes. So and they ended up winning state, and he missed like 4 or 5 basketball games.
Yeah.
But if you commit to something, you commit to it till it's done, right? So then you can get there and play basketball when it comes. So no, you don't leave the team.
I'm just
saying, ridiculous.
I'm just saying because I know a lot of ADs are basketball coaches, so
yeah,
the AD is like, hurry up and get to basketball because I want my guys.
Yeah,
but I think you got to move it out.
Well, how many teams are in the conference
right now? This year it's 12.
12.
So they're only taking 4 out of 12.
Yeah. See, I don't think you take the top half. You
don't think so?
No, that'd be a little much. Plus,
you think you got to?
It doesn't make the regular season as interesting if you got to win like 2 games to get into the
technically
playoff.
You got to win 3.
Well, we would be in the playoff in our division. We're 2 and 3.
That's true.
So
it's only because somebody had to play.
If you have a losing record in your division, then I think
but you see that in TSSAA though. Like, there's teams with 1 or 2 wins getting in, just because they take everybody.
Yeah, that's true. You just got to be 500 to make it in TSSAA, right?
I think you'd be less than 500
to make it in district.
Yeah.
Well, see, that's just stupid.
Yeah. I don't know how Kentucky does it. I just know how Tennessee does it. I've seen like a 1 or 2 win team get in the playoffs, like the first round, and of course immediately get knocked out.
Yeah, so I think it'd be a waste of a game. I mean, you take a team that's 6-3 or 2-3 in the division, and I mean they could pull upset that first game, right, and beat the 2 seed. But I don't know. I just think you can't have a 50% of your teams in the playoffs. That'd just be way too extra. Keep it at 4.
How would you have felt about playing in a bowl game, like knowing that it's just an extra game and it's crazy because like they played Riverside last week and then they're playing them again Saturday in the bowl game, like back-to-back weeks. So like, how would you have felt as a player going into a game like that? Kind of like the consolation game. It's like a throwaway game, but
sure.
I guess if you're a senior, you want the extra game.
I don't know. I think the consolation game is ridiculous. They just do that to get a seeding for next year, I guess. So somebody's definitely a number 3 and somebody's definitely a number 4.
Yeah.
But in no other form of sports do they do that. Not even the TSSAA. Once you lose district, you're gone. Or you lose regional. I mean, once you lose in the playoffs, you're done.
It's win or go home, yeah.
So, but I mean, a bowl game, I don't know. I wouldn't want to play in one.
I got you.
Bowl games are for college.
Right. I've said put money on it.
But that's me personally.
No, yeah. Well, I've said like give the winning team like I don't know what sounds fair. I don't know what would actually help a program because I've been a coach. So I don't know if $2,000. I don't know if $2,000 is a drop in the bucket or if $2,000 will help you get something.
But where's the $2,000 coming from? Does Intech have $2,000 just be given?
I'm saying like get like a title sponsor. Like go out and get a sponsor.
Yeah.
So you have such and such bowl game, and then $2,000 goes to the winner, $1,000 to the loser, and then or $500 whatever.
Yeah.
And put something on it because otherwise it's just a game.
Yeah.
What about
Tucker,
you?
You're about to be in a bowl game. What do you think?
What do you think?
I know we're excited because it's another game we get to play, and this is our first time getting to play in the postseason whatsoever.
Right.
So, being a starting program, I think it'll be good to say we won a game in the postseason.
Right. Are you more excited about that or like the having the most wins?
I don't know.
You gotta think maybe the wins.
Yeah, the wins. So it'll be good to.
Because like the bowl game is like, anybody can play in that, but the wins you can't take away. Wins is like we won 7 games.
Yeah.
So I mean we beat technically 6 teams.
What is it? A 10-game season?
It varies. Like some teams only play 8, some play 10.
How many did y'all play?
This will be our.
Played 9 already. Yeah. This will be your 10th.
This will be our 10th.
So.
Well, 7. So it's 6-win season.
Yeah.
6-3.
6 out of 9. Yeah,
that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Especially it only being, what'd you say, the 4th year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Being a quarterback, and I've seen this a couple times over the last couple of years. If you've got a younger guy who's freshman, and you got your quarterback graduates, and you've got a senior, do you guys start the senior or like move the senior to quarterback, or do you let the younger guy play? I'll start with you, Tucker.
I think it depends on the rest of the composition of your team. Like if you have a bunch of seniors and you think you're going to have a shot at the postseason, I'd play whoever's the best quarterback no matter what.
Right.
But say you got a bunch of underclassmen, you're not going to make a run in the postseason or anything. I'd put the younger guy in there, get him some experience, so down the road you can have a better chance of winning.
You don't think that hurts the young guy, though, at all? Like, taking reps away from him? Because, like, Riverside did it. Riverside's done it.
He's saying start the younger kid.
Oh, you okay.
Yeah,
He's saying if your team doesn't have a chance at postseason, start the freshman.
Yeah, but what if your team does have a chance at postseason?
Then you play whoever's best, regardless.
So, okay. So you play the athlete. Let the athlete do his thing. Cause
what's the scenario here?
Yeah.
Do you have a? I mean,
okay. So
when the freshman was an 8th grader last year,
right?
Let's assume he was 8th grader on the team, and the starting quarterback was a senior. No way did you have an 8th grade as the backup. Who was the backup this whole year?
I don't know who the backup is. Okay, so
you know what I'm saying? No way does a senior quarterback have an 8th grader as a backup, because if he gets hurt, your team's tanked. So there's got to be a sophomore, junior, another senior somewhere that's been groomed as a quarterback.
So I'll throw the scenario out. You're familiar with this one. FCA 2014 had Casey Jorgensen. I think you played him once. had Casey Jorgensen. He graduated. 2015, they had Elijah Jones, who was a junior in 14. He was a senior in 15. And he was a quarterback, but he didn't get reps. He was the backup, but he didn't get reps. But then they had – hold on. Let me make sure I got this right.
He didn't get reps when the team was way up or way down?
He didn't get reps. He didn't really get reps. 14, he was a junior, or he was a sophomore. And then in 2015, they had Alex Deitz, who was a senior. And you had Elijah Jones, who was a junior. So instead of letting him play as a junior in 15 and 16, they had Deitz play quarterback in 15, moved him from wide receiver, had him play quarterback, and then Jones just started 1 year. So, like in that scenario, would you have left the senior out at wide receiver and let the junior play, or like that kind of situation?
I mean, if he's a better quarterback, then yeah. I mean, in my opinion, the best player at that position plays, period. You know, that's in my opinion, that's just coaching 101. I mean,
right.
you wouldn't leave somebody on the sideline that's better at that position and say, hey, we know you're better, but
Deitz was a heck of an athlete.
You're about to graduate, so we're going to move.
They still won state. They beat CCS that year for state.
Yeah, so smart coaching, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And a lot of times in this league, I mean, in all leagues across the board, but the MTAC especially, a senior can graduate, and it doesn't matter if you've been grooming somebody to take his place or not. If he's not as good, the team can just plummet. So if I have your question correct, you're saying so you're coming into a new year.
Right. You've got a junior who's gotten limited reps, and he's practiced as a quarterback. And then you've got a senior who's a really good athlete who could technically play quarterback, but he'd be more of a running quarterback.
Yeah.
So do you leave him at receiver and give the junior a senior target to throw to, or do you move him to quarterback, and that way you put the best athlete at quarterback?
I mean, it depends on your system as well.
Yeah.
Well, you know FCA system.
But in my
you played
opinion,
against him.
But why did the guy that was the backup when you had the senior starter, why was he not getting tons of reps in the second half when you're losing by a ton or you're winning by a ton? See, that's bad coaching.
I'm not going to speculate. I mean, I know they wanted Casey to get reps and get stats because they were trying to get him into college, so they wanted to kind of get the senior more stats.
Sure, but if you're
even in garbage time,
grooming for the next year, then that's just bad coaching. So you didn't have the bad coaching when you had to make a hard decision the next year when your starter was gone. It's bad coaching when your team's up by 20, 30 points or down by 20, 30 points, and you're not putting the backup in my opinion. So your bad coaching didn't start in the present. It started the year before when you're not getting your next year team ready to go.
Well, that coach isn't even in the state anymore. So,
but if you got a quarterback,
he knows.
If you got a quarterback, let him play.
Right.
I wouldn't move somebody else there unless you have to. Right. I mean.
Yeah.
If you're not going to win with the guy because what you got's just not working, then put somebody else in.
Right. You mentioned playing Aaron Academy back in the day, and you really enjoyed playing them. Were they really the ones that I hate to use this phrase, that you got up for and like got jacked for, or is there somebody else that you really enjoyed playing?
Aaron Academy all the time, just because which I was homeschooled and played for Christian community, so. A lot of the homeschool groups who were in, I knew a lot of the Aaron Academy kids anyway. So I had some friends playing for the other team, and if they weren't playing for the other team, they played a different sport at Aaron Academy, and they were there watching the game.
Yeah.
But Aaron, and I said earlier, I just enjoyed beating them. It sounded like we beat them all the time, but really,
not really.
When I was playing, I mean, we were back and forth with him a lot.
Yeah.
My sophomore year, they beat us on a last-second touchdown. Which you can ask anybody that's on that team, is just a bad coaching call on defense. But as far as that goes, it's history, so it doesn't matter. But we lost to them by last-second touchdown my sophomore year. We lost to them at a jamboree my junior year. Beat them in the regular season on a goal line stand. They were first and goal, and I think we were up by more than a field goal, so they had to score, right? So we went 4 downs, stopped them inside the 10, and then victory formation. So that was an awesome win.
Yeah, I was
there. We didn't see him in the postgame.
That was that picture.
Yeah, we didn't see him in the postseason, and that was a game I didn't get to play defense because I had fractured my
Wait, you said junior year?
Yeah, junior
we
year.
played them in playoffs. We beat them in the playoffs to go because they were there. That's when their coach, when Coach Tommy said that was Channing's last game there, that's when their coach said, "Thank God."
That's right. Yeah, we played them in. We didn't play them in the championship. That's what I mean. And then senior year, we beat them in the jamboree. We beat them in the regular season. We beat them in the postseason. But yeah, we never had an easy game against Aaron Academy. Yeah. So that was a game that I always knew was going to be some. We're about to play football, right? And the other team was going to play right back at us.
Right.
They were just a fun team to play. They always had a lot of talented kids.
Did you know anybody from Hendersonville or the Heat?
Yeah,
like
Josh
Bates,
Tyler Jackson from the Heat. He didn't play football. We played soccer.
Yeah.
But me and Josh Bates are cool. August Shates, he played basketball for the Heat.
Right.
Me and him are buddies. Oh man, what was that one guy's name?
Somebody went from
the Heat.
Somebody went from CCS to Hendersonville. It was your junior year. Austin. Oh, what was his name? Austin Ellis.
Yeah. He was the lower classman though, so I didn't play in games with him much, and but he did play at HCA. Yeah, he did get a lot of play time at HCA. But he and I just weren't close. So I mean,
right.
But there's a guy that played for the Heat. He was a black guy. He played quarterback and running back.
Oh yeah. I know who you're talking about. I know it was like the same grade as you. Because he got tossed out. He got tossed out of one game
too.
Senior year, I think.
Yeah, he got ejected because one of the Stevens twins was poking him or something on the bottom of a pile, and he decided to kick him in the throat on his way up, which was probably justified, right? The Stevens twins were scrappy dudes. There were some good football players too, but they knew how to get inside people's heads.
They helped y'all.
I can't remember his name, dang it. And me and him were
really
helped
cool. They helped y'all like when y'all lost Hembry and Rordink, like they were the linemen that jumped in. Well, you lost all three of them, John Dodge, Hembry, and Rordink, and they all three jumped in.
And Michael and Will were probably a couple of the best linemen, offensive and defensive, to ever play for Christian Community. They were good at football.
They were some instigators, though.
That's right. And
if it would have been hockey,
doing that on defense.
If it would have been hockey, they would have been they'd have been the fighters.
Yeah, I mean that's the mentality you got to have on defense, especially in football. You're out there to fight. You're out there to battle. Get crazy in the trenches, man.
Of course, the Heat don't have a roster on Max Preps for those years.
Yeah.
It's going to kill you. Now you're going to go home and look it up.
I am. I'll just text August when I get out of here.
There you go. What about you? Because you're a little more recent, but like who did you guys?
We get really pumped when we play Christian Community. We haven't been able to beat them yet.
Yeah.
And we thought we'd have a good chance this year, so we were real excited for that game.
Right.
Turned out to be a dud.
Yeah.
But you always get psyched when you're going to play a top team.
Yeah.
It does something for you.
Yeah, especially when you drive in and you see all the number one signs.
You want to knock them off. And Aaron Academy and the Heat were always those two teams for when I was playing.
Yeah.
They were always the teams. And Swanee.
Yeah.
Those were the teams that we were always competing for that number one seed for from year to year. So I just
especially when we drove all the way down there. I really hate it because I actually lost about 6 minutes of the end of our conversation. So that's where I had to end it. But I had a great time talking to these guys. Just two fantastic former quarterbacks, two great guys being successful in life. Jalen's went to Tennessee Tech for 4 years, got a degree. He's now married. He's working. Tucker is at Belmont University, plans to transfer. He's working on getting his degree. So two guys that have been successful in football, and now they're being successful in life. And they're two really great role models if you want to look up to a couple guys. But that's it. That's all I got. That's Extreme Talk this year. I hope you've enjoyed it. That's the pre-recorded Extreme Talk. The 10th episode of Extreme Talk, November 6th. It'll be live because we'll be doing the mock draft. But I think it'll be live. It might be live. I don't know. Might be pre-recorded. Who knows? But I am very excited about what we've been able to do this year. Extreme Talk has been fantastic. I've gotten to talk to some incredible people. I've gotten to do some dream interviews, and it's really been a fun ride. And we'll pick it up again next year. But this weekend, you need to go catch a postseason game. On Saturday, the MTAC Bowl is at 3 p.m. They are doing a benefit for Coach Travis Creasy from Riverside Christian, who was diagnosed with leukemia recently. They're doing a big benefit for him. We're going to be streaming it live, but if you can, make the trip to Fayetteville. It's only an hour, maybe an hour and a half. Go watch the game. Go check it out. And let's have a great weekend of football. Championship football next Saturday. See ya!
And I wanna say thanks for listening.